There was a time when you wore yourself out trying to understand the behavior of those around you, seeking explanations for confusing attitudes, contradictory words, and actions that left you perplexed. These people kept you trapped in a cycle of uncertainty and emotional exhaustion, something that was never God's plan for you. But now everything has changed. Those who once brought confusion into your life are now unable to understand you. The same sense of incomprehension you faced is now being experienced by them. They were used to your constant attempts to fit in and understand them, but you have stepped back, realizing that you no longer need to seek validation from others. You discovered your strength in attracting what is true, without wearing yourself out trying to understand those who refuse to open up. This awakening has unsettled those who thought they had control over you. Today, they can no longer read your energy, for the barriers they created within themselves prevent them from understanding who you have become. The dynamic has completely changed. For everyone arriving, know that there are no setbacks here. We do not go back. We move forward. We stand firm in the face of challenges, holding on to our purpose. If you identified with this message and want to continue strengthening this community, subscribe to the channel. Together, we will grow even more, sharing knowledge and support. Your presence here makes all the difference. Don't forget to like, comment, and share so we can reach and impact even more people. Let's move forward together. Consider the words of Proverbs 16:9. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. The people around you cannot understand your actions because you are being guided by something much greater than human intentions. Your decisions often seem enigmatic to others, but they are guided by wisdom that comes from above. While others act according to their desires, you follow a divine purpose that cannot be easily explained. The Bible shows us that God protects those who walk in his direction. In moments of adversity, such as when the prophet Elijah was fed by ravens in the desert, we see that God's provision can come in unexpected ways, defying all human logic. Like Elijah, you are also sustained in ways that others cannot comprehend. They expected you to react with anger or sadness, but you respond with serenity, confusing them even more. God has always protected those who remained faithful, even in the most difficult trials. Just as Daniel in the lion's den, you are surrounded by situations that could consume your spirit. But you remain untouched because your faith protects you. The adversities you face are not signs of divine abandonment, but opportunities to strengthen your resilience. The difficulties you face are not permanent barriers, but steps that elevate you to a new understanding of who you are and what you are capable of. Today, this protection takes on a deeper form. It is defense against temptations that attack the soul, distractions that try to divert you from your path. The Apostle Paul, in his letters, reminds us that the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. Philippians 4:7. This peace is what sets you apart, allowing you to remain calm amid chaos, radiating a calmness incomprehensible to those who lack this spiritual connection. Your journey is not a simple reaction to circumstances. It is a conscious choice to follow a path that transcends human understanding. While many succumb to anger or despair in the face of challenges, you choose to respond with kindness and balance. Your ability to stay focused and at peace, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart, is not a trick or a mask. It is the result of deep and ongoing healing. People expected you to react predictably, returning negativity with negativity, but you refused to play that game. Your strength lies in your ability to turn pain into learning, challenge into growth. Instead of engaging in the same toxic dynamics, you follow an elevated path, guided by faith and the conviction that something greater is at play. You become an enigma to those still trapped in cycles of reactivity and self-deception. They try to label your calmness as indifference, your joy as naivety, but they cannot understand that your strength comes from a much deeper place, a connection with the divine that is not easily shaken. Like Joseph in Egypt, who turned his adversities into an opportunity to save many, you also transform negative experiences into life lessons. They threw stones in your path, but you used them as foundations to build something new and meaningful. This ability to turn the negative into something beautiful is what confounds those still trapped in old ways of thinking and acting. Divine protection does not always mean the absence of suffering, but rather a spiritual strengthening that allows us to grow through trials. In the Old Testament, we see how God protected the prophet Jeremiah, even when he was rejected and persecuted by his own people. God did not spare him from difficulties, but sustained him with courage and wisdom, showing that true protection is not always physical, but spiritual and emotional. Similarly, you face challenges that test your limits, but it is precisely in these trials that your faith strengthens and your identity solidifies. Like gold refined by fire, every obstacle in your life serves to purify you and prepare you for something greater. These difficulties are not punishments, but tools to shape your character and develop unshakable faith. You find yourself constantly challenged, but each adversity is an invitation to grow, learn, and become a stronger version of yourself. Your ability to remain firm and keep walking is a testament to the power that resides within you, something others cannot understand or explain. Under the new covenant, the true battle is fought in the Spirit, and the protection we receive is a defense against the invisible forces that try to mislead us. Ephesians instructs us to put on the full armor of God so that you can stand against the devil's schemes. This armor consists of faith, righteousness, and the Word, which protect our hearts and minds from attacks we do not see but feel. This spiritual shield allows you to remain unshaken in the face of adversities, knowing that your security does not lie in circumstances, but in the divine promise that you will never be abandoned. Paul, who faced imprisonment, shipwrecks, and persecutions, had full confidence that regardless of what happened, his soul was safe in God's hands. He wrote letters of encouragement even while chained, demonstrating that true freedom and security come from a deep connection with divine purpose. You, like Paul, are secure no matter what the world throws at you. This confidence baffles those who expect to see you crumble, but you keep moving forward, unshaken and firm. Often those around you expect you to react like anyone else would under pressure and challenges. However, your response is always surprising because it does not come from emotion, but from wisdom acquired through your spiritual journey. While many succumb to despair, you choose love and compassion, not because it's easy, but because you understand that these are the true forces that move the world. Like Nehemiah, who rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem despite all the adversities and attacks he faced, you are also rebuilding your life, brick by brick, with patience and determination. They try to undermine your spirit, but you keep working, focused on what matters. Your ability to turn criticism into motivation and pain into a drive to keep going confuses those who do not share the same vision. They don't understand how you can stay so strong, but it is precisely this strength that sets you apart and makes you a living example of resilience. They underestimated you, thinking they knew how you would react. But like Moses, who led the people through the desert with the confidence that God would provide, you also trust that there is a way, even when everything around seems impossible. Your serenity is a mystery to those still trapped in patterns of fear and despair. To them, your peace is disconcerting because it reflects a freedom they have not yet achieved. You have become a mirror of what is possible, when living in harmony with a greater purpose. While they grapple with their own insecurities and frustrations, you keep moving forward, showing that there is a different way to face life. You are like a river flowing serenely, navigating around rocks and obstacles gracefully without losing your course. They may try to label your calm as weakness, but in truth, it is a strength that few possess. They put you in difficult situations, expecting you to break under pressure. However, like the story of Joseph, who was sold by his brothers and ended up becoming governor of Egypt, you took what was meant to destroy you and turned it into something that not only benefited you, but also served as an example to many. You took every lemon life gave you and made something extraordinary out of it. It's not just about surviving. It's about thriving amid difficulties and using each one as a stepping stone to the next level. What others see as limitations, you see as opportunities. They cannot understand how someone can go through so much and still shine with such intensity. But it is exactly this ability to turn the negative into positive that makes you a beacon for those in darkness. They expected you to surrender, but you chose to continue, showing that your strength does not lie in circumstances, but in something much greater. The change in your life also involves a deep understanding of detachment. You realize that you do not need to hold on to what no longer serves you, including people, habits, and old ways of thinking. Your journey is a continuous act of surrender, not to weakness, but to the divine will that guides you. When you step away from relationships or situations that drain your energy, it is not a sign of giving up, but of self-respect and recognition of your worth. This ability to walk away from what doesn't add value confuses those who expected you to keep playing the same game. They thought they could predict your actions, but you surprised them by showing that you are guided by something far more powerful than pride or the need for approval. This freedom you now possess is something no one can take away because it was not given by others. It was earned through your own transformation and spiritual growth. They can no longer read you, for who you have become is beyond their comprehension. Just as David faced Goliath with only a sling and unwavering faith, you face your challenges with a courage that few understand. The serenity with which you respond to conflicts disarms those who expected you to act with anger or resentment. To them, strength manifests in aggression, but you show that true strength lies in peace and inner conviction. In a world where many are swayed by the emotions of the moment, your ability to remain calm is an enigma. They wonder how someone who has been so hurt can continue to show up with love, patience, and generosity. However, what they do not understand is that you are not reacting to them, but following your own truth. A truth not shaped by the actions of others, but by your connection to something much greater. Perhaps, like Joseph, who was rejected by his brothers, you have also been treated as a stranger by those who should have been by your side. They sidelined you, thinking that this exclusion would weaken you. But it was precisely in solitude that you found your strength. Their distancing became an opportunity for you to rediscover your identity and realign your purposes. They thought they could defeat you, but every attempt to hurt you only made you stronger and more determined. You have learned to turn isolation into a fortress of wisdom and resilience. They expected you to lose yourself, but it was during this time that you found yourself. The rejection that should have weakened you became the fertile ground where your spiritual roots grew deeper. This ability to draw strength from what should be a weakness is what sets you apart and makes you so difficult for others to comprehend. Even when you were hurt, you chose to love. Like Stephen, who prayed for those who stoned him, you decided not to retaliate in kind. This unconditional love is not a weakness, but a revolutionary force that transforms everything around you. The people who hurt you expected a reaction. They wanted you to become bitter and stuck in pain. But by choosing forgiveness, you broke the cycle of hate and set yourself free. They cannot understand how someone can respond with so much love after being so hurt. But it is precisely this response that confuses them. While they try to label your kindness as naivety, you keep moving forward, knowing that your strength comes from a source they have yet to discover. Your love is not a sign of weakness, but of courage that few possess. You have learned that not everyone can accompany you on your journey, and that's okay. Like Abraham, who left everything behind to follow God's voice, you have also stepped away from situations that no longer resonate with your purpose. This ability to detach from what does not add value is one of your greatest gifts. It is not abandonment, but realignment with what is truly important to you. When you decided that you would no longer chase after those who do not want to be reached or fight to be understood by those unwilling to understand, you freed yourself. You showed that your peace is worth more than the need to be right or accepted. This detachment does not mean you do not care, but that you respect your journey enough not to lose yourself in paths that lead nowhere. Your evolution is not a point of arrival, but a continuous process of transformation. You understood that life is not about staying in the same place, but about constantly reinventing yourself. Like a potter molding clay, you are always working on yourself, polishing your edges and improving daily. Difficulties are just part of this process, shaping you into something ever closer to your full potential. Just as the Apostle John, who was exiled on the island of Patmos, and there had grand visions, you also turn your periods of apparent isolation into moments of deep introspection and growth. They think that isolation is a sign of weakness, but in reality, it is a phase of renewal. You become stronger, not by avoiding pain, but by facing it with courage and learning from each experience. Everything you do now is guided by a greater purpose, something that transcends momentary interests. You have understood that your path is not dictated by circumstances, but by the call you feel within. This purpose is like a beacon that guides your steps, even when the sea is rough. Others may not understand, but you know that each decision is part of a larger plan. They underestimated you, but you use your silent victories to prove that what matters is not being recognized by others, but being at peace with yourself. You are not seeking applause, but alignment with what you know to be true and just. This determination keeps you firm, even when the waves seem to want to bring you down. It is this silent resilience that inspires those who watch from afar, even if they cannot fully grasp what motivates you. Those who do not understand you are perplexed by your ability to keep moving forward. They wonder how someone who has faced so much can still smile, get up, and keep going. But you know that your strength is not just yours. It comes from an inexhaustible source that cannot be shaken by the circumstances of this world. They think they know you, but they do not understand that you have already transcended what they thought you were. Now, your presence is a mystery to them. What they once considered your weaknesses have become your greatest weapons. You are living proof that overcoming is possible, even under the most adverse conditions. And while they try to understand, you continue to follow your path, confident that you are exactly where you need to be. Your light cannot be extinguished by words or actions of others. It shines because it is fueled by your faith, determination, and desire to keep growing. Every challenge overcome is fuel that makes this light shine even brighter. They may not understand, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that you know who you are, and that truth is enough to guide you. You are no longer playing the same games as before. You are no longer chasing approval that never comes. Now, you walk with the certainty that your light is enough and that your presence in this world is necessary. You continue to turn what was bitter into sweet, not because you need to prove something to someone, but because that is your essence. And it is this essence that, in the end, will keep you firm and unshakable, regardless of what others think or say. Your transformation has made you incomprehensible to many, but that is the beauty of your growth. Just as the Apostle Paul transformed his life from persecutor to preacher, you have reinvented yourself in ways others cannot understand. Your strength comes from what you have built silently: a steadfast faith, a resilient spirit, and a peace that is not shaken by circumstances. You have learned to detach from what no longer serves you, moving forward with courage, even when others doubt. Like a lighthouse in the midst of a storm, your presence illuminates the way, not through words, but by example. It is not about being understood, but about being true to yourself. Keep moving forward with the certainty that as long as you keep your light burning, nothing can extinguish your essence. Your journey is a testament that even in the face of the greatest adversities, it is possible to shine and inspire without needing to say a word. Every step you take is an act of faith, and every day, a new opportunity to be better. As you live this phase, you become living proof that true transformation often manifests through moments that seem like losses or endings. What some may see as an endpoint, you begin to see as the start of something new, more aligned with your essence and calling. By trusting and surrendering to the path being laid out for you, you open up to new possibilities that can be richer and more meaningful than any previous experience. I am grateful for each of you. Thank you for staying strong, walking with courage and determination. Each of us is part of something greater, nourishing one another with authenticity and purpose, often impacting lives in ways we do not even realize. Your true essence makes all the difference. For a long time, they tried to limit who you are, but now you are living your own truth. They can no longer imprison your energy. That is in the past. Move forward with confidence and be true to yourself. If you are here, you are part of a group of seekers of purpose and wisdom. Your presence helps keep this connection alive. Subscribe, comment, and share if this message touched your heart. Thank you for being here and being part of this community. May your lives be filled with abundance, and may blessings manifest each day.